What's up, everyone? This is just a quick tutorial to kind of NXEify your dashboard or use blades. We kind of have both options over here. I'm going to be using NXE and kind of follow the same thing though with blades. It's literally going to be the same exact way. So I'll have both of these dashboards linked in the description as well as everything else you see here besides my little game backup. Um, you can just DM me on Discord if you need like a source for games and stuff. So yeah, here's pretty much everything. So the ISO to God tool that we're going to be using to transfer games so that they show up on the dashboard. Um, this is Gold Spoof, useful plugin. Sunrise, useful plugin for Halo 3. This is the 360 SDK. So this will set up the Xbox 360 neighborhood so that when your console is in the patched or exploited state, you can access your console's files without having to unplug USBs or go into Aurora and just move files around that way. So this is like a good FTP server, sort of. And then lastly is Proto Stealth. This should be the only stealth server you're using. Now, I have heard other people say, XP Guard, Cypher. I would just use Proto and buy Xbox Live Gold. If I were to give advice, that's probably my sort of thing to you. But if you don't have Xbox Live Gold, Gold Spoof should cover about like 90% of everything you're gonna do. If you're playing with friends, especially friends who have gold already, you are more than set. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up our little dummy little USB. So this is gonna be the USB that I'm gonna be using as an example. If you're gonna be on an RGH and you're following this video, just put this stuff on your hard drive. What I'm going to do is we're going to make a new folder. That's a shortcut. We're going to make a new folder. We're just going to call it plugins. All right. And in that folder, basically one by one, we're going to be copying our plugins over. So plugin UI, we're going to just drag and drop. Sunrise, we're going to make our own folder, but we'll just drag and drop. Gold Spoof, again, just drag and drop. So things like this. We'll go ahead and make a new folder. Just drop Sunrise in there. And actually, I'm going to make a folder called MISC. We'll go ahead and put, I'm actually going to rename Gold Spoof too. So we'll just rename it gold.xax. We'll put it in MISC. So that's what our folder structure looks like for plugins. When you go into launch.ini, you can see I actually had things set up on an older version of plugin UI. Speaking of plugin UI, I haven't mentioned where to get that. I'll be putting a link to the Discord server in the description. This is a really cool Discord server. I'm active on here, and a lot of people can help. In the newest version of plugin UI, you can add user-created themes, which there is a little forum section for, which is awesome. So with that being said, yeah, this is where you get your plugin UI files. Anyways, so your launch.ini, for the most part, should have XBDM and JRPC2. If you're a bad update, this should be what it looks like. If you have RGH, you don't really need this. Honestly, in a bad update, you don't really need it either, but I am not really, like, I don't know the extent of what it does, so I just kind of leave it there. Anyways, so plugin number 2 is going to be the stealth server. That's going to be Proto. Which the reason why we're not copying the Proto files onto our USB is because Proto files only work on the hard drive. Some weird way of how it works, but Proto can only launch when it's on your hard drive. Or alternatively, it can work on your 4 gigs of system of NAND memory, which, as you can see here on the launch.ini, can be used as one of these. So this is the one. So I have a 4 gig Corona with this internal memory. So I would use this file format, but let's just say we're using a hard drive. So you would do this, and honestly, I just recommend throwing Proto just on the root of your hard drive. So you just do proto.xex, so it'd look like this, because you're just throwing it on the root. And as for plugins, honestly, you would do plugin UI.xex. So again, that's USB / plugins / plugin UI / plugin UI.xex. And the same would go for this. Now, you'd probably have to pick between Sunrise and Gold Spoof, but if you're going to be like using each one, you know, I don't really know which one you'd pick. Whatever one you pick is good for that. But if you want to use Sunrise and Gold Spoof, then you can kind of get rid of plugin UI. I know there's a way to get more plugins working through the JRPC right here. You do need a hard drive for it. It's kind of self-explanatory, kind of not. It took me a while to research and look into it, but let me know if you guys would be interested in a tutorial on how to get more plugins onto your Xbox. There's honestly a limit though for the amount of plugins that you can have. So I would like hold off if you do manage to get more than 5. I would like max I would do is maybe like 8 or 9 plugins. Like I wouldn't go like 10 or above, because then, you know, because these load off the Xbox's memory, and if the memory gets overloaded, like it'll be buggy mess, you know. So this is what it should look like. So we got the gold, we got plugin UI. By the way, plugin UI is just the Blades. No, not Blades. Excuse me. NXE guide. JRPC2 again. You know, just leave it. Proto should be copied to your hard drive. For simplicity's sakes, we're gonna say you're leaving it on the root of your hard drive, so that's what it'll look like. And yeah, we'll go ahead and save that. Now, for the newest version of plugin UI to work, there's actually an edit you have to make to the proto.ini. So as you can see, you're going to want to copy these 2 files to the root of your Xbox's hard drive. And there's one change you need to make with the ini. So what you need to do is you need to change this from true to false. That's pretty much all you need to do. Once you've done that, now plugin UI will work as intended. Anyways, now, let's go ahead and get on with where to put your dashboards. So I honestly would just recommend just putting them on just like as the folders themselves on the root of your USB or your hard drive, depending on what you're using. It's definitely going to be USB if you're on bad update. RGH, either or, you know. But we're gonna go back into our launch.ini. We're gonna go to our default. We're gonna do USB. And actually, for simplicity, I'm just gonna rename these folders. Again, you know, simplicity's sake. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and rename the folder to NXE, so we can just do this USB NXE -.xex. Make sure that is in your default section of the launch.ini. So once that's set up like that, you should be all right. Now we'll click save, and boom, this is now done. Now, the next thing I want to go ahead and show you guys is how to convert a game to have it show up on the dashboard. So this is Skate 3. It's an ISO file. Your games can be XEX files, but those don't show up on the dashboard. They don't play nice with the dashboard. What this tool does basically is it converts this ISO to a God file, aka a God folder. You'll see very quickly where we're going to be putting this. So we'll go ahead and add it. We'll go ahead and convert it. And you'll see some temporary, this is the rebuilt.iso. This is a temporary file, and it will write a folder to the desktop because I set my path to be written to the desktop. While that is doing its thing, let's go ahead and talk about the SDK. So this Xbox SDK, you're gonna want to go ahead and extract it, run it, install it, and when it's done, you'll notice in your file explorer that this shows up. This Xbox 360 neighborhood sort of thing. And now what you want to do is you want to have your RGH exploit or your bad update exploit run. You want your Xbox to be patched. Then you will go ahead and click Add Xbox 360, go through. You'll put your Xbox 360's IP address that you can find pretty easily through network settings on your Xbox, or if you want to go into Aurora and go into the settings that way, you can find it just plain as day. You're going to want to put it here, and it will go ahead and add itself as an Xbox like this. And once it's like that, then we can go ahead and from there, you can copy proto files this way onto the root of your hard drive from this server, or optionally, you can put the proto files on a USB. If you're on bad update, you can put the proto files on the root of your USB. Just use Aurora to move the proto files onto the root of your hard drive. But anyways, I hope this stuff is mostly self-explanatory for the most part. I'm not really going in depth to like explain. Well, I am explaining, but I'm not really going in depth to show you guys the whole thing because it's not really, it's like, is it really like, yeah, I mean, if you're at this point where you've exploited your Xbox and you're good, like, the visual teaching shouldn't really be required. Anyways, that was a lot of yap. Looks like our folder's done. So when this is finished, you're gonna go ahead and see a folder like this. It should have the same name as the title ID of Skate 3. All you're gonna do is you're gonna go into the content folder on your hard drive or your USB. Does not matter which. I'm gonna go ahead and use the one on my USB. So once you click the content folder, you'll see a second folder that has a lot of zeros, and that's where you're gonna want to go ahead and open it. And this is where you're going to drag the game and drop. So this is what I mean by downloading an ISO of a game, converting it to a God folder, and drag and drop. It really is this easy. The speeds may be slow, but yeah, it's pretty easy. And if you're doing this over FTP, it's gonna be a little slower because you're doing it over the internet. But if you have a USB stick that has a decent storage size on it that you want to use for games, that you plug in and out of your Xbox, honestly, I'd probably recommend that over FTPing it to your hard drive. So yeah, I'll get back to you guys when this is done, and we'll boot up the Xbox and show you guys around. So yeah. Alrighty. So now that we've made it to the dashboard, by the way, this is already patched. As you can see, it looks a little different. You may notice that the NXE has been applied. So something that you can go ahead and check now is that once you've had this installed, once you apply your patch to your Xbox and you're in a patch state, go ahead and find your IP address and add it to your 360. Once you do that, it should show up here. If it doesn't show up, try going into Aurora and then try adding it. But once it's here, we can see everything. Now, as you see, we have a bunch of different assets and such. This is where Proto would go. Well, this is where Proto would go if you were on a console like mine, which has the 4 gig flash. This is where Proto would go. But if you're on a hard drive, your Proto would go on the root of your hard drive, and that's how you would launch from it. So, before you install Proto, you want to make sure that your INI does not include Proto on it. Your launch.ini does not include Proto. Once you've put Proto on your hard drive, then you add Proto to your list on the launch INI. As you can see here, I'll go ahead and drag out the launch INI again. First should be XBDM, then should be your stealth server, so Proto, then should be gRPC2, then plugin UI, and gold spoofer. With that being said, as you can see, I have the whole interface set up. And that game that we copied over, if we go to our game library, we go to all games, as you can see, Skate 3 is right here. Voila. And it runs, it plays, it works. So, I'll go ahead and let it open up. Wants to do an update. Oh, that's another thing about the new plugin UIs is that the update screen got fixed. Ain't that neat? But anyways, you can see the game's working, and so is the plugin UI. So with that being said, you know, you also have access to your Xbox from pretty much anywhere on your console now, instead of just having to sit in Aurora the whole time. So yeah. If you guys need any help, make sure to add me on Discord or go to the plugin UI. Go to plugin UI. Go to my Discord right here. Go ahead and add me. Ask for some help. I can help you guys. And yeah, hope you guys. I wish you guys good luck in setting this up. And yeah, let me know when it's all good. All right, catch y'all later.